My gosh, now I'm gonna have to come clean. We have a request out there. Somebody wants to know how this hole got in the drum. Oh my gosh.
How the hole got in the drum?
Yeah.
I was holding
Dad
it,
was so.
and I put my fingers in.
No, man, I must have convinced you that.
I did that one.
No, you didn't. Dad, you're 80 years old. I guess it's time for the gloves to come off. I have to be serious with you now. Steve kind of reminded me of that. But this hole in this drum, oh, I remember that. I can't believe you actually were going to take the fall for that. I should just let him go with it. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
No, I think
now,
it's time for you to tell
Okay,
the
it's
truth.
another,
Tell
it's
the
another,
truth.
you know what, okay.
Yeah.
So, me and Terry, I don't know where Rick and Dave were, but me and Terry were in there in a bedroom playing, and this drum was out, and we were playing with, we were not using the official drumstick to beat the drum, we were beating it with Tinker Toys. And I hit it with the Tinker Toy, and I put the Tinker Toy right through that thing, and
You little son of a bitch!
I put that hole in there, and I remember, because I was scared shitless of my dad. He was a son of a bitch.
Mean old man.
Yeah, he was mean.
He was mean.
Anyway, well, I should have let you go on thinking that, darn it. What you talk me into, Steve? So I actually hit that with the Tinker Toy, and I shouldn't have been playing with the Tinker Toy, but I hit the Tinker Toy and put a hole in it. And I can't believe, because you made a big stink about that. When you called us into dinner, and then you found out about the hole in there, and Mom said, well, I said I hit it with a Tinker Toy, and she goes, well, you couldn't hit it with a Tinker Toy. And my mom was there defending us. And she went and got a piece of newspaper, and she hit it with the Tinker Toy. She says, you know, see, I hit it with the Tinker Toy, and it made it, the hole looks just like the hole in that drum. So your son is not lying to you. Anyway,
Tinker Toy.
I own that one.
That's a good
No.
How about the footprints on top of the
Oh, come on! Oh,
How about the footprints?
that was not in the script.
That's David.
Dad developed forensic
Okay,
science on
okay,
that.
okay. I will let you claim that one because it is not in my script. And I was talking to my brother-in-law.
Well, it's just a story, but it's a story about you, brother.
I was talking, but I'm gonna let you tell that.
Well, I don't know what you were doing up there, but you didn't.
Okay, that's right.
You didn't.
That's right.
You
It's
didn't
not
want
in
to
the
do
script. I never
that
talked to
one.
it. And anyway,
I've been carrying
Your
the
turn.
guilt. I've been carrying the guilt about that hole for 40 years.
50 years maybe.
No, not 50. We've been here for 50.
No, that was in Sylmar. That was in Sylmar. It was before 1970. So it was 60 something.
You didn't do it,
Yeah,
Bob.
so you've been holding.
I'm losing it.
You didn't
Yeah.
do it. You didn't do it.
Anyway, okay, so that was our life in Sylmar, California from 62 to 1970. And then in 1970, we finally moved from
It's 1970.
1970. It's a long time ago.
1907.
That was the year before. The earthquake was 71. We moved out of Sylmar 1 year before the earthquake, a year and a month.
So you didn't leave a house that was destroyed?
No, but it was destroyed after that earthquake, that's for sure. Anyway, so 1970, we finally moved. Mom and Dad's dream came true. Their ship came in. We moved from Sylmar, California, a little dumpy place in Sylmar, California, to a home that was just a beautiful home. It was a dream come true, and it was really a milestone for the Cole family. And we used to go out to this house every weekend almost. We'd drive 40 miles, and all the kids would pile in the car, and we'd come down the freeway. At the time, it was just 2 lanes.
Larry, but you gotta add, sorry to interrupt, but you have to add that your father,
Yeah,
when he came to Westlake, before the house was built,
yeah.
that he would come down on the weekends and take photos.
That's in my story!
Talking about.
Sorry.
So every weekend, we would come to Westlake and watch the house as it was being built.
You did that with this one.
And so we'd go there, and there
we
was...
got free nails.
Rick, that's part of my story! I'm gonna slap you! Dang it! You guys quit preempting my story! Okay, all right, let me finish my story. Oh, all right. No more interruptions. Zip it.
You tell them, honey.
You and you.
Zip it.
1969, every other weekend or every weekend, we would come out to Westlake and we'd look at this house, which was too good to be true. And we'd go through the house while there was sticks up in the, you know, all the studs and stuff. And Dad would sit there and he'd take pictures of all of the studs. He's like, what the heck? Why are you taking pictures of an unbuilt house? And he's, when the house is done, I'll know where all the wires are and all the warning is, and so I can come back here after the fact and I can work on my house. And Dad never let anything go to waste. And so the carpenters were a little sloppy, and they just dropped nails all over the place. And
Oh, what do we do with the nails?
what do we do with the nails? So Dad, instead of letting the maintenance crew come and sweep them up and throw them away, Dad gave us each a cup or a bucket and said, you guys go collect those nails and I'm going to save them. So he would save those nails so that when we moved into that house, he didn't have to go buy nails. And I kid you not, I bet you he has some of those nails out there. I bet he could even put his hands on some of those nails. And I mean,
I still have the
I'm
box.
not joking.
He still uses them.
Okay, so after we moved to the Westlake house, yeah, he probably is. He probably is.
lowering me.
Oh,
Okay,
thank God.
good. Yeah, the heat's raised up a little high in here.
You just have your jacket on.
Whatever,
I'm
doesn't matter.
surprised.
Okay.
You're right?
Where's he coming? Where did he go?
I was drawing your story until he could hear it.
Yeah.
Here it is
You
on
might
top.
be warm in your jacket.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit warm. As a matter of fact, I think that's a good idea.
Apparently,
All right, so now the jacket's coming off, old man.
Oh, boy.
Now you're asking for it, old man.
You better
Okay.
pack a lunch, Larry.
That's
It's gonna
right.
take you all day to kick his ass.
I didn't know how many people it was going to take to kick his ass, but I knew how many we were going to use.
Dad,
So-
Dad, who said that?
Bright light.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't know where to start. I had these out of order. Maybe I should do this one before this one. Anyway, my dad.
In public?
My dad was the original do-it-yourselfer. He would build or repair anything before he would call a repairman or buy something new. He never pays for anything that he could do himself, but when he does it himself, he knows at least that it's done right. So after we moved to the Westlake house, Dad began systematically making home improvements. And he enlisted his boys for every one of those home improvements. And we did everything. We put in an air conditioner and a heater in the outhouse. We put in lighting. We put in a wash tub. We put in closets. We put in ventilation fans and even a water recirculating system so that when you turned the hot water on, it was hot and you didn't have to waste water waiting for it to get hot.
That's right.
That's my dad.
Oh, no, oh,
Why
Dad.
would you come and do that at our house?
Dad had his own built-in slaves. He had his own built-in slaves. Did you know that we used to, that lawn at that house was mowed 3 times a week? Did you know that?
And none of them by him.
And none of them by him. But you'd think maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? No. It was on Saturday. It was mowed 3 times on Saturday. And you think I'm kidding? It was mowed once in this direction and once in this direction.
And then crossways.
Diagonal. 3 friggin' times.
That's true.
The lawn.
That is not a lie. It's not good enough.
Who got out of it?
I said,
There's
Dad,
4 of
I'm
you.
going to the beach. He goes, you mow the lawn? I said, yeah, I did. He comes out there and he goes, whoa, 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 how many times did you mow it? I said, I mowed it. How many times did you mow it?
Each one of us did
I
it
said
3
once.
times.
He goes, you're not going to the beach, you gotta mow it 2 more times.
Once in this direction, once in this direction, and once in this direction. And he's not kidding.
And that was, well, he's taking notes here. And that was using a lawnmower that was made in the 30s.
Oh,
It was
yes!
a push mower.
Oh my gosh! I have got to tell that one.
my-
Sue heard this at a
from my
campfire, and I'm going to have to
mom's
introduce
dad.
this. It wasn't part of the script.
The push mower that came from my mother's dad was made before the Great Depression. That's right. It still worked, but that's why we had to go 3 times to get 1 or 2 blades of grass sticking up.
Well, not to mention he didn't like the rotary mowers because
Oh, no.
had to be the real type motor because it actually had a scissor
It's
action.
a shearing.
Shearing
Rather than
action.
a whacking.
Right, that whacking action, it left little brown tips on the
brown
grass.
tips.
Hey guys, where does Dad get his car washed? At a hand wash. He gets those brushes.
Oh,
those
no, that's right.
branches,
You can't have swirl. All right, so I'm going to take a little diversion from the script. Sue reminded me of something I told her at a campfire one time. Before we moved to California, so we're going back to 1962, and Dad had a 1957, white 1957 Ford station wagon.
Oh, the
And
seatbelt.
one day, we did not know what was coming.
Oh, had no clue.
We came home from school one day, and Dad's out there working on the car. What are you doing, Dad? He goes, well, we're moving to California, and I'm putting seatbelts in this car because those Californians, they're crazy drivers. And Dad, I mean, being this original do-it-yourselfer and very thrifty, I must say, he bought, for six passengers, he bought 4 seatbelts. He bought one for him and one for Mom, and then he bought a blue set and a green set, and they were for 2 each in the back. And so one side had blue seat belts, and the other side had green seat belts.
And Dave and I chose blue.
And they got blue. Rick always called everything first. Okay. So when we moved to California, there was 4 of us. 2 of us in that seat, 2 in that seat. And then after a while, he relaxed a little bit. We'd go on vacations, and then somebody would actually be able to go in the back.
Way back.
In the way back, and they would kind of lay down and fall
Those
asleep.
seatbelts were gray. They were gray.
Well, in the 57, there weren't any.
Oh, that's right.
This is the 65.
Sorry, I
3
forgot.
seatbelts in the front
That was
and
the
2
six-
in the back.
What's that?
I think there were 3 in the front and 2 in the
You're thinking of the 65. The 57, you put them in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, who builds their own seat?
Yeah. So anyway, as time went on, we got a
But
little
you
lax.
guys would all out for 1 seat.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because we call out for 1 seatbelt because after things laxed up a little bit,
Oh,
somebody would
okay.
go on the way back and
Okay.
they would fall asleep, and then there was 3
Three
people
guys.
and 2
2
seatbelts.
belts.
And so what do? Obviously, everybody wants their own seatbelt, right? And Rick was famous for this. Oh my gosh, now I'm going to go off on a tangent.
God forbid.
Rick was famous for this. We would go to, we'd go everywhere. We went to Death Valley or whatever, and we'd be out there running up and down the hills. And before we even start heading back to the car, Rick would say, I call a window and a lone seatbelt. And I go, shit! He gets a window and a lone seatbelt. Who's sitting in the middle? Well, Dave, I'm older. I need the window. Terry or me? Okay, it's me or Terry. We get stuck in the middle.
No.
Yeah,
He was.
he did.
And
He would call the night before. We're going to Disneyland the next day. Window low seatbelt.
exactly. Which reminds me of another tangent. You guys got me going.
It's okay.
You got me going.
Go ahead.
Okay, so while we were kids, we were little kids, and we would go places. Dad, he took every year, like I told you earlier, he made sure that the Cole family went on a vacation. They had no money, but we had a tent and we had a station wagon, and we were going on vacation. By God, didn't have to make a
By
reservation.
golly.
Back in those days, you just get in the car and go.
Well, yeah, because you know why? We had a fresh change of engine oil.
Yeah.
Because Dad would put new motor oil in the 65 wagon.
He did. This is true.
And he would take the used oil out of the 65 and put it in the 55.
He did! Honest to God! Not only that, he really did that. He would drain the oil and put the used oil in the 57 and the new oil in the 65. On top of that, my dad, he was too cheap to buy an oil filter. I am not kidding you. So he got this package. Literally, look it up. I swear to God, this is true. They had a can. Back in those days, the oil filter was about that big around. And Dad got a kit where you could, instead of getting the oil filter you paid money for, you could get this can and you could put a roll of toilet paper inside of there and then put that in, and it would work as an oil filter. And he must have saved at least 50 cents each time he changed the oil because he didn't buy an oil filter, he just used an old roll of toilet paper. God's honest truth, right? It's true. Anyway, back to the script. Huh? Yeah, long night. I know, long night. Okay, so we did the ventilation fans.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Anyway, Dad always led by example, and I always appreciated him for that. He taught me and all of us boys to do almost anything. We're do-it-yourselfers ourselves, and I'm happy to claim that title. Dad taught me how to work on cars. He taught me how to work on plumbing, electrical, carpentry, drywall, painting, anything, you name it. As a matter of fact, my neighbor Sue is glad that he did.
Thank you, Bob.
Whenever I have a project at home, my dad is still the go-to guy.
Where's he going now?
He's got to get something else for his story.
the toilet paper.
We still have the toilet paper. Hold on, let's beat the drum.
Which arm there, which arm?
Thank you. This was every, I meant to say that when we went to the Indian Guides, we would go to a weekly powwow. Remember that, Rick? Yep. Weekly powwow would go to different houses, and every week at the powwow, the Chippewas meeting started with 12 beats of the drum.
I just turned it down.
Oh, okay.
And that was the beginning of our Chippewas meeting, and then we would go around the table and we would all talk. And we have to, because there was dues, we had to put in money so that we could do these activities. And each one of us had to say what we did to earn that dues.
That's right.
That was, because, Dad and Mom never gave us allowance. They always said we had to work, had to earn it. Boy, he really burned that one into our heads.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good
It's
thing.
good. I admire my dad for that. Anyway, like I started to say here, whenever I have a project, to this day, my dad is still the go-to guy. He's the first person I call when I have a question or I need advice. And when I think of my dad, what words come to mind? And this is from the heart. This is God's honest truth. Honesty, integrity, hard work, discipline, reliable,